Sit. Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. I am going to be talking about audiobooks. It is my newest obsession. I am in my audiobook era. All of the books that I listen to usually have some like a little bit of romance, but then also a plot twist or some like mystery, some type of suspense. So I typically look for like thriller, suspense, romance. Like those are the three together that combine to make like my perfect book that I want to listen to. So if you're into those types of books, definitely keep listening. Let's talk about the books that I have been listening to for the last year-ish is when I started. I downloaded Audible on a trial because I found this, I'll put it somewhere around me, book to kind of diagnose like why I always had stomach aches or like what my food intolerances are. And I listened to that book and then never picked up Audible again because and then I forgot to cancel the free trial. So these credits were just like adding up and adding up and adding up. Then I watched the show Tell Me Lies on Hulu. Everybody was watching it and I wanted to wait for the episodes to collect. So last Christmas break, I get a week off between Christmas and New Year's. I binged Tell Me Lies. I don't know when season 2 is coming out, and the ending was like bombshell ending, and the book does not end the same way as the show, but I just needed some closure, so I bought the book. And I got it from Target. And then I was so addicted to reading it that I hated when I would have to get in the car and leave or anything like that. So I was like, I have to use all these Audible credits I have and listen to the book so that I can know what's going on while I'm working, while I'm driving. Tell Me Lies does not end the way that season 1 ended. It actually is a complete full story. So if you watch the show and you're like antsy and you just need some type of answer, that is definitely the book for you. Or read the book, listen to the book, and then watch the show if you haven't watched it yet. Oh, it's so good. Both are so good. That was the start of my Audible book journey. And I have not stopped from there. I just cannot stop, to the point where I've used all my Audible credits and now I have to like wait for my other credit. So I started to find out how I can listen to other audiobooks while I'm waiting for that Audible credit. In the meantime, so we're gonna get to that towards the end of this video, but right now I'm just gonna talk about the books that I've loved listening to over the past year. I somehow found Sarah Pekkanen and Greer Hendricks. They are independent authors, so they write on their own. They came together for a series of books. They're not related to each other, the books, but they write together, and when they come together, it is genius. Like that was like right after Tell Me Lies, I started listening to their books. You Are Not Alone, The Wife Between Us, The Golden Couple, An Anonymous Girl was the first one I listened to, and I was like, I gotta keep going. They did have a short book that was actually free, so while I was waiting for my credits last month, I listened to a free book they had because it was only 2 hours long, called The Getaway, and it was actually narrated by Kate Mara, and I love her. So I was like, oh my god, it's free, it's quick, it's by 2 of my favorite authors, and it's narrated by someone I love, Kate Mara. So definitely check their books out. Even if you're not an Audible person, you actually like to have like a hard copy book or read on your Kindle, please, please, please check out Sarah Pekkanen and Greer Hendricks books. The next book I want to mention, it was my first book I listened to by Lucy Foley, and I honestly just clicked on it because I thought the cover was cute. So the judge a book by its cover thing, sometimes it works out because it had like this cute pink writing. I'll put it here or here, wherever I decide to insert the picture, but it's called The Paris Apartment. What really drew me in was the voice of the narrator. She had like a beautiful accent, and she reminded me of a character that was in the Carrie Diaries. I had to actually check to see if it was her voice, because I was like, her voice sounds so familiar and so homey. Like, I feel like I know this person. And the story was like, it's a huge mystery, and she's like in this apartment that belongs to her brother, and she's meeting all these people who live in the building. So if you like murders in the building, this is the book for you. The next book I listened to was because someone highly recommended it. Actually, a lot of people did. It is Local Woman Gone Missing by Mary Kubica, or I don't know how to say her last name, but that one was a little bit more morbid, but it hooked me immediately. Like the first chapter was like, boom. A lot of these books that I listen to, I can like actually do other things like chores around the house at the beginning, because it's like leading up to something, and I'm like, I don't really need to know, you know, fully pay attention for this. But that book was like, boom, action. There's of course murder, like someone's gone missing, and it goes from years ago to the current state. So a lot going on, and the narrator also had like a really soothing voice, and that is actually something I want to mention to lead me to my next book, because the narrator was the same. So I was listening to a book and I was like, that voice sounds so familiar and soothing, and it was because her voice got me through Local Woman Gone Missing, because it was just a little bit more morbid than the ones that I usually listen to. Her name is Brittany Presley. She also narrates No One Needs to Know by Lindsay Cameron, and that book was so good. I just listened to it last month. The way that they described it was like Big Little Lies and Gossip Girl, because there's like a town tabloid, but there's also this group of women who aren't connected, but like eventually will be connected, or their kids all go to the same school, but they all end up connected towards the end. And that story was just amazing. I think Gossip Girl mixed with Big Little Lies is like the perfect description for that book. So definitely add that to your list if you were into those shows. The next book I really want to talk about is The Housemaid. My friend Lindsay recommended it, and I had already seen it on Audible, like recommended, because of the types of stories that I listen to. And I think this is my favorite one. I don't know, it's so good. There's another book with a different housemaid, so it's different housemaid stories. Can't wait to listen to the second one. I'm gonna use my November credit for that. I've been like holding on to it for dear life now that I know how I feel when I run out of them. I can't recommend that enough. I actually got both books, like hard copy books, for my friend Aisha for her birthday, because I was like, you have to read this. And then once I ran out of credits, I was like, what am I supposed to do? How do I listen to audiobooks without having to buy each one? And a friend of mine actually recommended Libby, where you can check out books and audiobooks with your library card. So I linked my library card to this Libby app, and some books you have to get onto a list. Even though it's an audiobook, you have to get onto a list. I wanted a story, like I'm addicted. I need a story right now. So I put in the 3 criteria, like thriller, mystery, and romance, and I found an author named Karen Rose, and I listened to Cold-Blooded Liar, and I love the story. It was so good. And the best part about it, it was like a 20-hour book, so it like really kept me busy. I'm currently listening to another one of her books. It's called Beneath Dark Waters, and my favorite city ever is New Orleans, and this takes place like in New Orleans or like in Louisiana, but definitely like in those areas. So that one's also really long, so I'm excited that that's kind of keeping me busy. She's my new Sarah Pekkanen and Greer Hendricks. You can filter in Libby for available now. That way you can, like, while you have some things on hold waiting to listen to, you actually can listen to some things. Another way you can listen to books for free is on Spotify. The person that is in charge of the family plan has access to 15 hours of audiobooks per month. Unfortunately, my husband is the name on the account and he's offered to swap logins sometimes, but I didn't want him to mess up my Spotify Wrapped, so I was like, no thanks. But I just so happened to be like sitting next to him and I was like, man, I really want to listen to an audiobook. And he was like, I'm not using my Spotify right now if you want to just listen while you're working. So I did that and I started None of This Is True by Lisa Jewell. So I'm excited. It's about some birthday twins that meet out, like they're out at the same place and they realize that they were born on the same day and they're the same age, and like some weird stuff goes on. I haven't gotten too far into it, but that is another way that you can listen to audiobooks for free. So if you don't want to pay for Audible, but you have a library card and you can listen to Libby, or if you are the account holder of a Spotify premium account, you don't need to pay for Audible. I don't like to wait for books. And so I'm definitely gonna use all three. But yeah, these are the audiobooks that I've read lately and that I've really been loving. I think I'm going to make this a series, so definitely check back at a later date and I'll fill you in on what I've been listening to, what I've been reading, and I'll see you in the next video.